Begin with the first light over the Atlantic Ocean, where America wakes before the rest of the world. Capture the magic of sunrise at Acadia National Park in Maine, the coastal cliffs, and the endless stretch of the eastern seaboard. Transition into the pulse of major cities like Boston and New York, showing how history, culture, and modern life merge along the coast. Before the rest of America awakens, the East Coast greets the day first. The first light of dawn spills across the Atlantic, washing over rugged cliffs, quiet harbors, and endless stretches of sand. Here, where the ocean kisses the continent, every sunrise feels like the beginning of a new story. The East Coast isn't just a region, it's a rhythm, a living pulse of history, culture, and untamed nature woven together by the tides. Imagine standing on the edge of Acadia National Park in Maine. The first rays of sunlight strike the pink granite of Cadillac Mountain, one of the very first places in the United States to see the sunrise. The ocean below glitters like molten gold, and seabirds glide above crashing waves that have shaped this coast for millions of years. There's something ancient here, something raw and eternal. You can feel the Atlantic's heartbeat in every gust of wind. As you move down the coast, the rugged wilderness softens into storybook charm. Maine's pine forests give way to the maritime towns of New England, places like Bar Harbor, Portland, and Cape Cod, where fishing boats sway gently in the mist and lighthouses stand like silent keepers of forgotten tales. These coasts once saw explorers, whalers, and merchants, and today they hold on to that legacy with quiet pride. Wooden docks creak beneath your feet. Salt air fills your lungs. Every shuttered house in Cobblestone Lane whispers a memory of the sea. And then comes Boston, where America's story began. The cobbled streets of Beacon Hill, the echoes of revolution along the Freedom Trail, the charm of old brick against the modern skyline. This city is a bridge between centuries. Boston feels alive with intellect and history, a place where every corner seems to have witnessed a chapter of the nation's birth. Standing by the harbor, you can almost hear the distant echo of ships and the cries of those who dared to dream of independence. From here, the journey moves south and the landscapes shift again. The coastline becomes a corridor of contrast. Between the serene harbors of Rhode Island and the roaring Atlantic beyond Cape Cod lies a world of variety: rocky coasts, sandy beaches, and the steady rhythm of waves that have shaped generations of lives. It's here, on the Atlantic edge, that you begin to understand the East Coast is not one story. It's thousands of them, unfolding together like the sea meeting the shore. Then, there's New York City, a world within a world. The sun rises over the skyline, reflecting off glass towers and the waters of the Hudson River. It's a sight unlike any other, the dawn, igniting a city that never truly sleeps. From the quiet serenity of Central Park at sunrise to the rush of life through Times Square, this city embodies the East Coast's restless spirit. Its ambition, energy, and hope condensed into steel and light. But beneath the roar of traffic and the glitter of skyscrapers, there's poetry in the people, in the motion, in the idea that every dreamer who arrives here adds one more heartbeat to the city's song. Beyond the cities and skylines, the Atlantic continues to call. The coastlines of New Jersey and Delaware unfold like open arms, wide beaches, boardwalks filled with laughter, and seagulls gliding over endless blue. There's something nostalgic about these shores, a simpler rhythm, a sense of belonging. You can feel it in the laughter of families building sandcastles, in the smell of salt and sunscreen carried on the wind, and in the setting sun dipping low behind the Ferris wheels that light up the evening sky. But the East Coast isn't just about where the ocean meets the land. It's about where history meets the future. Every wave that touches this shore has witnessed centuries of change, from the first native tribes who called these lands sacred, to explorers who mapped unknown coasts, to the immigrants who arrived chasing dreams. Every sunrise carries their stories forward. And as the day fades, when the Atlantic glows under the fading light and the cities sparkle along the horizon, you realize something powerful. The East Coast is not just a destination. It's the heartbeat of a nation. It's where America began, and where its story continues written in water, wind, and stone. This coast has watched generations come and go, but the tide always returns. The sun always rises again. And for those who stand on its edge, from Maine's cliffs to Manhattan's towers, there's always that same feeling: wonder, humility, and the timeless beauty of a new beginning. The Atlantic whispers it best: this is where the world wakes up. Explore the nostalgic beauty of New England, from the lighthouses of Maine to the fall colors of Vermont and the cobblestone streets of Massachusetts. Portray a region where every town feels like a storybook full of traditions, small-town warmth, and centuries-old history. There are places in the world where time seems to move slower, where the air itself feels thicker with memory. And then, there's New England, a land where time doesn't just slow down, it stops. Here, centuries whisper through the trees, church bells echo across misty harbors, and every sunrise feels like a window into the past. This isn't just a region, it's a feeling, a calm, golden nostalgia that wraps around you like autumn fog. The journey begins in Vermont, where rolling hills stretch like green waves beneath a sky of shifting blue. In summer, wildflowers blanket the meadows. In fall, the forests burst into flames of scarlet and gold. It's a painter's paradise, a dream of nature and simplicity intertwined. The small towns here look like they were built for postcards: white steeples, covered bridges, and cozy inns where time seems to linger. The world rushes by somewhere far away. But in Vermont, the pace of life is defined by the turning of leaves and the rhythm of the seasons. Travel east, and you enter New Hampshire, where the mighty White Mountains rise like ancient guardians of the sky. These rugged peaks have seen explorers, poets, and dreamers for generations. Hike through Franconia, notch or drive the winding Kankomagus Highway, and you'll feel it: the hush of the forest, the whisper of the wind through endless trees, and that strange, peaceful silence that only untouched nature can give. At sunrise, mist rolls over the valleys, and the world feels reborn. Further south lies Massachusetts, where history and beauty intertwine like ivy on an old stone wall. In Boston, cobblestone streets lead to the echoes of Revolution, Paul Revere's footsteps, the ringing of the Old North Church bell, the whispers of freedom that shaped a nation. But beyond the city's heart, Massachusetts opens into the coastal grace of Cape Cod, where sand dunes roll into the sea and small fishing villages still carry the scent of salt and wood. Watch the sun dip below the horizon in Provincetown, and you'll see it, that delicate, golden light that seems to belong only to New England. Then, there's Rhode Island, the smallest state with the biggest heart. Its coastline is carved with elegance, from the grand mansions of Newport to the quiet charm of Narragansett Bay. Sailboats drift across the water, their white sails glowing against the twilight. It's the kind of place where the sea feels close to your soul, where every sunset leaves behind a shimmer of eternity. Rhode Island might be small, but its beauty is infinite, wrapped in waves and whispers. Cross into Connecticut, and the journey becomes intimate, winding roads through sleepy towns, colonial homes shaded by maple trees, and rivers that meander like memories through green valleys. There's poetry in its simplicity, a quiet beauty that doesn't need to shout. Mystic Seaport takes you back to the age of tall ships and sailors who followed the stars. It's here you realize that New England doesn't just preserve history, it lives it. The past isn't locked in museums or monuments. It's alive in the rhythm of everyday life. And then there's Maine, the crown of New England. The scent of pine, the crash of waves against rocky shores, the call of gulls echoing through the morning fog. In Bar Harbor, the ocean meets the mountains, and the light feels pure, untouched. The lighthouses stand tall against the elements, timeless, patient, eternal. Watching them, you understand why this region has inspired writers, painters, and poets for centuries. It's a place that doesn't just show you beauty, it makes you feel it. Everywhere in New England, the seasons are storytellers. Winter drapes the landscape in silence and snow. Spring breathes new life into the hills. Summer hums with warmth and laughter. And autumn, autumn, it's pure magic. The forests ignite in color, and every road becomes a golden tunnel leading into memory. There's a melancholy beauty to it, a reminder that even the most beautiful moments are fleeting, that everything must change, and yet, somehow, New England remains. Walk through an old village green as the church bells ring. Watch the fog roll in from the sea. Feel the crunch of fallen leaves under your boots. In those quiet moments, it's as if time folds in on itself, past and present, overlapping in one eternal heartbeat. New England doesn't rush. It doesn't demand attention. It invites you softly, patiently, to slow down, to breathe, to remember. And in a world that moves too fast, that is its truest gift. Because here, where the light filters gently through the trees and the echoes of history still linger in the air, you realize something profound. The most beautiful moments aren't the ones that pass quickly. They're the ones that stand still. And that is the secret of New England. Show the heart of America's east, skyscrapers touching the clouds, bustling streets alive with dreams, and monuments that shape the nation. Bring emotional depth to the contrasts, the ambition of New York, the legacy of Philadelphia, and the dignity of Washington, D.C. There are cities that move. And then there's New York City, a living, breathing pulse that never stops. From the moment you set foot here, it feels like the world's heartbeat is under your skin. The air vibrates with energy. The lights shimmer like stars pulled down to earth. And every street corner feels like it's telling 1,000 stories at once. This isn't just a city, it's a world within a world. As the sun rises over the East River, the skyline awakens the Empire State Building, the Chrysler's Silver Crown, and the ever-present One World Trade Center, piercing the morning mist. The city glows gold for a brief, magical moment before it explodes into motion. Yellow taxis streak through avenues, steam curls from the streets, and millions of footsteps weave together into the rhythm of something greater, a symphony of ambition, survival, and dreams. Walk through Manhattan, and you can feel history and future colliding. Downtown, the narrow streets of the financial district echo with the voices of those who built the American dream, traders shouting beneath glass towers, while the Statue of Liberty stands proudly in the harbor, her torch burning bright against time. She's not just a symbol, she's a promise. A reminder of every soul who came here chasing freedom and found themselves in the glow of possibility. Head north, and you reach Times Square, the electric core of it all, a place where day and night blur together beneath 1,000 digital suns. The lights never sleep, and neither does the energy. It's chaotic, loud, overwhelming, yet strangely beautiful. People from every corner of the world gather here, not just to look, but to feel the pulse of humanity. For some, it's a dream come true. For others, it's a reminder of how big and alive the world truly is. But to find the soul of New York, you have to slow down. Stroll through Central Park at dawn, where the sound of birds replaces the city's roar. Joggers glide past the lake, artists sketch beneath the trees, and the skyline peeks through branches like a promise of adventure. It's a masterpiece of balance, a forest in the middle of chaos, where time seems to pause just long enough for you to breathe. Head into the neighborhood's Greenwich Village, Soho, Harlem, Brooklyn Heights, and you'll discover the real New York, a mosaic of cultures, languages, and dreams. In Harlem, jazz pours from old clubs where legends once played. In Brooklyn, creativity thrives in repurposed warehouses and quiet coffee shops. In the Village, laughter spills out of candlelit restaurants and hidden jazz bars. Every borough, every block, feels like a different heartbeat in the same body. Then there's the bridges, the arteries of this great city. Walk across the Brooklyn Bridge at sunset, and you'll understand why so many have fallen in love with this skyline. The cables glow gold in the dying light. The East River mirrors the fire of the sky, and as you reach the middle, you can see it all, the endless stretch of humanity. ambition, and dreams, wrapped in steel and stone. It's not just a view, it's a feeling. One that says, this is where everything begins. At night, New York transforms. The city lights reflect off glass towers, and the hum of traffic becomes a lullaby for dreamers. Rooftops flicker with candlelight dinners, jazz echoes through hidden basements, and on Broadway, stories come to life beneath 1,000 spotlights. The magic isn't just in the places, it's in the people. The artists, the hustlers, the believers, the ones who never stop chasing what they love, even when the odds say they shouldn't. That's the true spirit of New York resilience wrapped in brilliance. There's something poetic about this city. You can be alone among millions, yet still feel part of something infinite. You can arrive as a stranger and leave as a story. The noise, the lights, the chaos, it all has purpose. It's the sound of humanity refusing to stand still. From the top of the Rockefeller Center, as you look out over the glittering maze below, it hits you this city isn't built of stone or steel. It's built of dreams. Dreams that rise higher than the skyscrapers, that burn brighter than the neon lights. New York isn't just the heart of the East Coast, it's the heartbeat of the world. The place where everything collides, everything begins, and everything feels possible. It's loud, it's alive, it's unforgettable. Because in New York, you don't just visit a city, you feel what it means to be alive. Shift into a warmer tone the Carolinas, Georgia, and Virginia's coastal stretches. Focus on beaches, coastal towns, and the easy rhythm of life near the Atlantic. Include Charleston's charm, Savannah's mystery, and the Outer Banks' endless horizon. There's a different kind of magic that lives along the southern edge of the East Coast, where time moves slower, the air feels heavier, and every sunset seems to carry a whisper of history. Welcome to the Carolinas and Georgia, where the coastal soul of America beats with a rhythm both haunting and beautiful. Here, the ocean doesn't just meet the land, it shapes it. The waves crash against the dunes, the wind hums through moss-draped oaks, and life seems to move in harmony with the tides. In the Carolinas, every shoreline tells a story, and every cobblestone street holds a secret. Start your journey in Charleston, South Carolina, a city that feels like it has stepped straight out of time. Its pastel-colored houses glow beneath the soft southern sun, horse-drawn carriages roll past iron gates, and the air carries the scent of jasmine and sea salt. Charleston isn't just beautiful, it's soulful. You can feel it in the rhythm of its jazz, the creak of its docks, the laughter echoing from its porches. Walk through the French Quarter, and it feels as though every brick remembers the past, from the colonial traders to the revolutionaries to the dreamers who built it back again after every storm. Further north, Myrtle Beach opens up like a shimmering playground of sunlight and surf. The long stretch of golden sand invites you to let go, to feel the ocean's pulse and the breeze that carries the laughter of 1,000 summer memories. The Carolinas have always known how to celebrate life with the slow rhythm of beach music, the smell of barbecue in the air, and the warmth of people who know the value of a good story shared at sunset. But to understand the coast's true soul, you have to look beyond the cities. Wander through the Outer Banks, those thin, wild islands that stretch like ribbons off North Carolina's shore. The wind whistles through the dunes, the lighthouses stand tall against the storms, and the sound of crashing waves becomes your only companion. This is where flight was born, where the Wright brothers defied gravity at Kitty Hawk, and even now, that same spirit of adventure drifts through the salty air. Head south, and the world softens even more. In Savannah, Georgia, time seems to melt into the warm light of its oak-lined streets. Spanish moss hangs low from the trees like nature's own curtain, filtering the sun into gold. The city's squares, with their fountains and cobblestone paths, feel like scenes from a southern fairy tale, graceful, haunting, and endlessly romantic. You can hear the hum of distant gospel music, the click of horse hooves, and the quiet whispers of stories older than the nation itself. Savannah's beauty has a mystery about it, elegant, yet shadowed by history. The iron balconies, the weathered mansions, the ghostly legends that live in its corners, all of it adds to its timeless charm. It's a city that doesn't rush to impress you. It simply invites you to stay a while, to walk slowly, to listen. Along the coast, Tybee Island glows beneath the sunset. Soft waves kissing the sand, pelicans gliding low over the water, the lighthouse casting its light across the calm sea. There's peace here, a kind of serenity that wraps around you like a warm breeze. And yet, just beyond the horizon, you can feel the restless spirit of the Atlantic, always moving, always calling. The Carolinas and Georgia together form the heart of Southern grace, a place where life is slower but richer, where the food tells stories, the music carries emotion, and every sunrise feels like a gentle reminder that beauty doesn't need to shout to be heard. It just needs to be. In the low country marshes, the light dances over still waters. Herons stand poised like statues, and the air hums with life. The reflections on the water blur the line between earth and sky, creating a dreamlike canvas that captures the soul of this region, calm, enduring, deeply alive. As night falls, the sound of cicadas fills the air. The coastal towns light up softly. The scent of salt and magnolia drifts through the streets, and the world slows to a whisper. This is the East Coast, at its most poetic, not grand or loud, but deeply human. It's a place where you can feel connected to the Prontau, land, the sea, and to every traveler who ever stood by the water and simply felt. The Carolinas and Georgia don't just show you their beauty. They invite you to feel their rhythm. It's the rhythm of the tide, of history, of life lived with heart, a rhythm that lingers long after you've left the shore. Because the coastal soul of the South isn't just something you see, it's something that stays with you. Explore the wild heart of the East Coast, the misty mountains, the Appalachian Trail, and the forests that feel timeless. Show sunrise over the Blue Ridge Parkway, autumn in the Smokies, and rivers winding through endless green. Bring emotion and awe, the East's quieter, sacred side. They call it the Sunshine State. But Florida is more than just a place bathed in endless light. It's a frontier of contrasts, a world where tropical dreams meet untamed wilderness. It's a land that glows with color, heat, and life, where every sunrise feels like the beginning of a new adventure, and every sunset feels like a farewell kiss from paradise. As the first light spills across the Atlantic coast, the beaches of Miami come alive. The waves shimmer in pink and gold, palm trees sway against pastel skies, and the skyline stands tall, sleek, modern, unstoppable. Miami isn't just a city. It's a heartbeat of style, music, and motion. It's where Latin energy meets ocean calm, where Art Deco curves blend with neon light, and where the sound of laughter and salsa fills the warm evening air. Walk down Ocean Drive, and you'll feel it. The rhythm of life, pulsing through every cafe, every street corner, every heartbeat. But beyond the glamour lies a different kind of Florida. Wild, mysterious, and raw. Head south, and the road leads to one of Earth's most unique ecosystems, the Everglades. Here, the water moves like glass, slow and silent, reflecting the vast sky above. Sawgrass stretches to the horizon. Herons take flight, like white arrows in the wind, and somewhere beneath the surface, the eyes of an alligator glint in the sunday. It's a place of stillness and danger, of life that thrives on balance. The Everglades are not just a swamp. They are a living, breathing heart, the soul of wild Florida. Further south, the land narrows into a ribbon of islands, the legendary Florida Keys. Each island feels like a world of its own, connected by the endless line of the Overseas Highway, a road that seems to float above turquoise water. You drive between ocean and sky, where the horizon never ends and freedom feels tangible. Stop in Key Largo, where coral reefs shimmer beneath crystal waves. Drift through Islamorada, where fishermen cast lines into the golden dawn. And at the end of the road, Key West, the southernmost point of the continental United States, where time dissolves into color. In Key West, life runs on island time. Streets lined with conch houses and bougainvillea, bicycles rolling lazily past old wooden porches, and laughter echoing from seaside bars as the sun melts into the sea. The Mallory Square sunset is more than a moment, it's a ritual. As the sky burns orange and purple, crowds gather to applaud the dying light. And for a few minutes, everyone becomes one: tourists, locals, dreamers, wanderers. The world feels simple again. Back on the mainland, Orlando glitters with imagination. It's the capital of wonder, where childhood dreams come to life in theme parks that stretch as far as the eye can see. But behind the fireworks and fairy tales lies something deeply human: the joy of dreaming, of escaping, of believing in something magical. Whether it's the enchantment of Walt Disney World, the adventure of Universal Studios, or the serenity of the nearby lakes, Orlando reminds us that wonder isn't just for kids. It's for everyone who dares to imagine. Head toward the Gulf Coast, and Florida transforms again. The beaches of Naples, Clearwater, and Siesta Key glow like molten gold under the sunday. The sand is soft as silk, the water warm and impossibly blue. Dolphins dance in the distance, pelicans skim the surface, and time slows to a gentle rhythm that feels like peace itself. It's no wonder people call it paradise. But Florida's soul isn't just found in its beaches, it's found in its stories. The space coast of Cape Canaveral, where rockets roar into the heavens, reminds us that even paradise reaches for the stars. The old streets of St. Augustine, the oldest city in America, whisper of explorers and pirates and centuries gone by. And in small coastal towns from Cocoa Beach to Sanibel Island, life still moves to the easy beat of the waves. At sunset, when the skies turn into fire and the sea mirrors the glow, you can feel Florida's true identity: a place suspended between worlds, between luxury and wilderness, between dreams and danger, between earth and sky. This is Florida, radiant, restless, full of light, mystery. A place that welcomes everyone, yet never fully reveals itself. It's a frontier of beauty, not because it's untouched, but because it's alive. Every tide, every storm, every sunrise writes a new chapter in its story. And as the stars rise above the Gulf and the last wave fades into the sand, one truth becomes clear: Florida isn't just the end of the East Coast. It's the beginning of wonder. And with reflection, the East Coast as a living story, from ancient lands to modern skylines. Show the people, the music, the food, and the cultures that blend along this coastline. End on a poetic note, the waves crashing against the shore as the narrator reflects on time, journey, and belonging. There's a place where history breathes in marble and memory, where every monument seems to whisper the story of a nation. Washington, D.C., the beating heart of American identity, stands not just as a capital, but as a living symbol of ideals that continue to define the world. It's a city of vision, of triumph and tragedy, of power and purpose, where every step feels like walking through time. As dawn breaks over the National Mall, the city glows with quiet dignity. The Lincoln Memorial, carved in timeless stone, watches over a reflection of the past. The morning light spills across the reflecting pool, casting golden ripples that dance toward the Washington Monument, a towering needle piercing the pink sky. And in that silence, you can almost hear Lincoln's immortal words echo through the air, a reminder of struggle, unity, and hope. The U.S. Capitol rises proudly at one end of the mall, its dome gleaming like a beacon. Here, the machinery of democracy hums imperfect, but enduring. Walk its marble halls, and you can feel the weight of decisions that shaped centuries. Nearby, the Library of Congress stands as a temple to human thought, its gilded ceilings glimmering like sunlight on parchment. Every corner of D.C. tells a story. The Smithsonian museums line the mall like gateways into every chapter of civilization, from the mysteries of space and flight to the delicate brushstrokes of American art. Step inside the National Air and Space Museum, and you'll stand beneath the same machines that carried humanity beyond Earth's cradle. In the Museum of Natural History, the Earth itself seems to speak through fossils, gemstones, and echoes of deep time. But D.C. isn't all marble and monuments. Beyond the power and politics, the city's neighborhoods hum with life. In Georgetown, cobblestone streets wind past riverside cafes and colonial brick houses draped in ivy. In Adams Morgan, the night comes alive with the rhythm of cultures from around the world. It's a side of Washington often unseen, human, diverse, beautifully real. Then, as you cross the Potomac River, the story changes again. The skyline fades behind you, replaced by the rolling hills of Virginia, a land where America's history was born long before the Capitol stood tall. In Arlington National Cemetery, rows of white headstones stretch across green hills like silent waves, each one a story of sacrifice, of devotion. At the tomb of the unknown soldier, a guard marches with perfect precision, a timeless ritual of respect. The world slows down here. Even the wind seems to carry reverence. Drive further south, and the road winds through Virginia's heartlands, a landscape painted with soft light and memory. The Blue Ridge Mountains rise in the distance, cloaked in mist and song. The valleys below bloom with vineyards and wildflowers, and every small town feels wrapped in the warmth of history and home. Visit Colonial Williamsburg, and you'll step back into the 18th century. The air smells of wood smoke and fresh bread, and the sound of carriage wheels rolls down brick streets. Costumed interpreters reenact the daily life of a nation being born, blacksmiths at their forges, musicians playing old tunes on cobblestone corners. It's not just a reenactment. It's a time machine, a living memory of where it all began. Further west, the Shenandoah Valley opens up like a painting, rolling meadows, quiet rivers, and mountains that seem to touch the clouds. Drive along the Skyline Drive, and every turn reveals a view more breathtaking than the last. Hawks soar over golden forests, waterfalls tumble through hidden glens, and the horizon glows with the endless promise of the East Coast's natural beauty. Virginia is often called the mother of presidents, and for good reason. From Mount Vernon, where George Washington's estate overlooks the Potomac, to Monticello, Thomas Jefferson's masterpiece perched atop a hill near Charlottesville, this land has given birth to ideas that shape the world. Walking through these places, you can feel their presence, their vision, the sense that freedom is not just a word, but a living pursuit. As evening falls, the fireflies come out over the fields, and the cities fade into gentle silhouettes. The air smells of earth and rain, and somewhere in the distance, church bells echo across the hills. It's peaceful here, deeply so. A kind of peace that comes from knowing where you've been and what you stand for. From the solemn beauty of Washington, D.C. to the timeless grace of Virginia's countryside, this stretch of the East Coast reminds us that history is not just something to be remembered, it's something to be felt. It's in the stones, the rivers, the trees. It's in the hands that built, the voices that dreamed, and the hearts that still believe. Because in this corner of America, the past and the future meet not in opposition, but in harmony. A living legacy of courage, freedom, and faith that continues to light the way forward. Thanks for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed exploring Prague as much as I enjoyed guiding you through it. If you found this travel guide helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more beautiful destinations from around the world. Got a favorite spot in Prague? Drop it in the comments, I'd love to hear from you. Until next time, safe travels and see you in the next video.